New Year's Day 2010, and 100 intrepid adventurers and devotees of Phra Achan Nawin set off to scale Doi Tone, Thailand's second highest mountain. Morale was high. They set off into the early morning sunshine. Although some were already showing ominous signs of throwing in the towel.
Oh, very tired.
While some of the original vegetation remains, a lot of the mountain has been cleared, allowing noxious weeds, such as this fine specimen of first death, as it's known in Nepal, to get established. Today, however, such gloomy thoughts were being cast aside, as the devotees carried other floral offerings up the denuded mountainside.
We're gonna take this bunch of flowers to the top of the mountain just to pray the Buddhas upstairs. You'll see later, okay? But this is beautiful.
She and her friend were making the climb to pay respect to the spirits, who live in a small pagoda which Phra Achan Nawin had built on top of the mountain several years ago. He'd enlisted the aid of local hill tribe people to perform the gruelling task of carrying the bags of cement to the building site. The climb is an annual event, following a well-worn but rather steep trail. But this year, Phra Achan had discovered a new way, which was supposedly shorter and easier. However, it was starting to take its toll.
I'm so tired. How are you?
Not bad.
Oh.
Clearing up.
Yeah, you're good. หน่อยยิ้มหน่อยเดินเข้ามาอีกโอเคสวยมาก
Noi and her friend were taking it easy and diligently recording their progress along what was becoming a rather challenging adventure. In fact, as the sun climbed higher and higher, chest pains, a legacy of an unstable angina, which had hospitalised me a few months ago in Chiang Mai Ram Hospital, started to manifest themselves. Seeing that something was amiss, Noi stopped and turned back to help out. So anyway, we went and sat in the shade for a while under a tree and had a bit of a chat, and then decided we'd better push on again. But every time I got up, the head started to spin. So I sat down again, and meanwhile this other woman came along that had met at the last meditation session, and she and her mother ran a spa, and she gave me a phial of lemongrass essence, told me to rub it around under my nose, and I did that and I inhaled it and felt much better. So then the three of us set off up the hill, and it was incredibly steep, and all of a sudden I felt that I just had this feeling that if I went I wasn't going to make it. So they said they'd tell everyone up there that I was going back, and we said goodbye and off I went. And, started powering down the mountain, filming my shadow as I went, and that was when I ran into the old soul, the 76-year-old woman who had joined the tour. And I felt, God, if she can do it, why can't I? But there was no point in being stupid and what have you, so I filmed her and continued on down. I found out later that the hardy old soul had once worked as a porter, carrying supplies for trekkers and mountain climbers, so it made it up and back with ease. However, the perilous descent was taking its toll on me. I wasn't feeling too well, despite swallowing 4 heart attack pills, so I sat down again to record what I felt might well be a last message to my fellow climbers. Just in case this turns out to be like a electronic version of the dig tree or Captain Scott's note in a bottle on his way back from the South Pole when he died in his tent. If you find this camcorder lying by the side of the track, my last will and testament is on the infernal computer. It's in the downloads, which is in the dock along the bottom of the screen. So, but anyway, that might, hopefully it won't come to that, and I'll see you back at the camping ground, where I was joined by 2 fellow dropouts. Among other things, we speculated on how the hill tribe people had managed to get all those bags of cement up the mountain to build the pagoda. but they were simply practicing their walking meditation and strengthening their bodies as well as their minds. Yes, the whole thing was a traumatising experience, but it worked out well in the end, thank heaven for that. But now, on a lighter note, and just before we go, I'd like you to take special notice of these very important words of wisdom from Mr. Halliday. He and I have worked in the film and television industry just about all our working lives. In fact, here we are on the set of that immortal classic Time Warp, which is featured in your first DVD. That's me, with my back to the camera, in my role as director, imparting instructions to the motley cast, and Mr. Halliday dutifully absorbing my words of wisdom. These shots were taken during television's golden era, when 16mm film flowed like water. We had a great time then, but over the years a lot of the fun times have rubbed off, as the ABC attempts to take itself more seriously.
Now, Rennie, I know at the end of this time of your life, the end of your academic career, you've done very well, okay? And I know you've got the traits of being a showbiz superstar, and you know you can feel the buzz of that, and you can smell the smell of the grease paint, and you want to be on stage. You've got that vibrant personality. Can I strongly advise you to avoid the film and television industry like the plague? Okay? And put your heart and mind toward something much more worthwhile. Practice good deeds, and maybe, I don't know, are you interested in animals or something like that? Do anything but the film industry. Promise me that.